Look at him, guys. What a moment here tonight. Outside MSG, Plaza 33. The celebration continues. We'll send it back to you guys for right now.
Oh, Chris, we love a father-son moment. Beautiful. The backdrop of New York playing. I mean, that's what it's all about, family.
Getting a little teary here.
Nothing like sports to get total strangers.
I know,
to hug like lifelong friends.
Look at that. Everyone just wants to stay in that moment. Just keep soaking in this moment. Don't let it end, right?
Father, son, and this guy.
And this guy.
And they're all Knicks fans.
Yeah. Love it.
And they all can't
now.
believe that this just happened to their team. That's incredible.
I want to get out to News 4's Kay Ingram. She's at yet another watch party. She's at Central Park. Kay, I know you've got some excited fans behind you.
There they are.
It's so exciting, you know. It's everything. It's the best. You know?
Oh my goodness! And you said Jalen Brunson is your favorite player, right? Well, we have ourselves an MVP, and we have ourselves probably maybe the smallest, biggest fan here, who is telling me that being here tonight is incredible because your dad was how old the last time?
What?
You said the last time they were in the playoffs, your dad was like 13 or something like that. Earlier we were talking about that. So again, we were just talking about a historic night for so many fans, for folks who are just excited. A lot of emotions, obviously, that are very high because folks cannot wait. I was talking with fans. They said they're already heading to MSG. They're heading to the bar. They are heading to their after party. Some heading to go get food, and others heading for the rest of the evening for an incredible night, right? For a Knicks win. Anything you want to say to the players? Thank you, Knicks! I love you! We saw the Spurs to Cancun! Ah! And there you go.
Okay.
Bring it back to you all in the studio.
Kay, thank you so much. Kids up past their bedtime tonight.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's written already. Let's go now!
They sent the Spurs to Cancun, and they sent themselves down the Canyon of Heroes.
Yeah, I think so. That's next.
Yeah, we're going to wait. We're waiting for the parade announcements, right?
Yes,
The parade
that's
details.
next.
That'll be coming shortly. That'll be coming shortly. You know, the parade has been in the works.
Yes.
And it is going to be epic.
All right, right now we've been watching this shot outside of Madison Square Garden where there are crowds. We are keeping an eye on the situation. We're going to bring you any updates as we learn them. Of course, fans are out there celebrating, trying to have a good time. Let's get back to Chris Glorioso, who's live in the West Village where there was a huge watch party there earlier this evening. How's it looking now, Chris?
You know, while we were staring at the projector on the wall of a building, watching that game, it occurred to everyone at the same time that this was the most interesting and entertaining wall they would ever stare at. And now, as you've been hearing, New Yorkers are just celebrating. This is 7th Avenue. And it's just a sea of people hugging each other and really in like a kind of elation. I mean, it's interesting because as we stood out there, even when the Knicks were down in this Game 5, you heard people say, you know what? We don't have a doubt. We don't have a doubt. But now, even though all these people didn't have a doubt, it's hard for it to sink in. It's hard for it to sink in. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Can I talk to one of you real quick?
Yes.
I could not find a person this evening who wasn't sure we were going to win even when we were down. Why were New Yorkers so sure?
Knicks in 5, baby!
That phrase sums it up, I think. Knicks in 5. Like I said, it's sinking in for everybody, but they never really had a doubt. We were watching, and we could see people get a little deflated for a moment, and the would kind of make an attempt, a futile attempt to come. But then, whenever somebody on the Knicks would come through, and they kept coming through for each other, I mean, everybody just became so certain. The certainty built and built and built. And then finally, in those final 20 seconds, I mean, everybody just knew. And it was a very New York thing, I've got to be honest. It was not hubris. It was not arrogance. It was just New Yorkers knew that the Knicks were going to bring that championship home. And they brought it home. And what can you say? I mean, is there a team that has brought New Yorkers together the way this one has? I want to point out we've got a taxi cab here. We've got to be safe. And look, I'm watching the driver of the taxi cab smile. You know, he's just like every other New Yorker right now, absolutely elated that this team came home with a championship trophy. And now we cannot wait to see that championship trophy in New York City. We cannot wait. We cannot wait for that parade. And we cannot wait to congratulate these Knickerbockers, who are heroes to this city tonight. Heroes to basketball players, little kids out there who are just, and by the way, I know a lot of little kids out there who followed Mayor Mamdani's advice, and they did not go to bed even though there's school tomorrow. And they watched one for the ages after more than a half-decade without a championship. The Knicks brought it home tonight, and this is what 7th Avenue looks like. Everybody soak it in.
And Chris, I think you're right. Aren't we just so glad we didn't have to wait for it? Aren't we so glad that it happened here tonight? You are right. Everybody is simply elated. Our chopper shot that you're seeing on the other part of the screen there is 42nd and 6th there. And Rana, these crowds, they are out in full force. And we're happy to say, for the most part, we are seeing just pure joy with this championship win here tonight. There have been several watch parties all across our city. We had Central Park. We had, of course, Madison Square Garden. We've got crowds moving now, but we also had Radio City Music Hall, too. That was our indoor one. Right. That's right outside our doors here at 50th and 6th Avenue, so not too far from the crowds you're seeing here. I think we have on the ground right now News 4's Axel Tercios outside of Radio City Music Hall, where, of course, the fans who are watching inside Radio City, Axel, are now coming out into the streets, heading on their way. What are you seeing?
Ren and Natalie, this is the craziest thing I've seen in New York City since I moved to this amazing city almost 5 years ago. The explosion of noise that came out of Radio City Hall was just something that I could not explain. Immediately after the Knicks won tonight, those massive crowds stormed out of the Radio City Hall, people running, people just screaming, people shouting, as you can see there. But the good thing is that so far I can tell you that everything seems to be under control. I can tell you that dozens and dozens of NYPD officers are all lined up. You know, they are telling me, I was talking to some of them off camera, and they were telling me that they do want everyone to celebrate tonight, but they want everybody to get back home safe. And, you know, they just want to make sure that they all go safe, but they celebrate, but, you know, taking all the precautions. You see all the barricades that have been set up here on 6th Avenue. We are right outside on 50th Street and 6th Avenue, where about more than 5,000 people were inside the Radio City Hall. Also, you can see there up on 51st Street, some other officers. Also, there were some group of people that kind of like gathered in that corner. They were, I would say, they were making their way down to Times Square or to the area near Madison Square Garden to celebrate. Everybody is just enjoying tonight's historic win. And something I can tell you is that I grew up in Miami, and exactly, I would say 13 years ago, I was starting my career as a reporter back in Miami in 2013 when the Miami Heat won also the NBA Finals. They defeated the San Antonio Spurs, and tonight the New York Knicks have defeated the San Antonio Spurs. And I can tell you that I would consider myself tonight. I'm very proud for our New York Knicks for this historic win tonight. Natalie, Rana.
Sure, New York is nothing like the win you saw in Miami. No shade to Miami, but
yeah,
this is
nothing like New York City.
This is something I cannot explain. I was just starting my career as a reporter back there, but this is just so crazy. I don't know. I'm a New Yorker. I know my Miami friends and family will hate me tonight, but now I'm a New York Knicks fan.
No hate. Everybody understands. Everybody understands.
But
it's
we will
bigger with
love
the
you.
Knicks.
Yeah, you're here in New York now. We gotta cheer like a New Yorker, right, John? I understand. We do have, as we're looking at these crowds here, and we have, what did you say? Our producer's telling us what? Oh, we got Side Talk NYC over there in front of the crowds. Looks like they're doing some social media.
That's
as we
exactly
see
right. Yeah.
the crowds hanging out. Everybody
They've been a very
pumped up.
big part of this.
They have been a big part of this.
Going back to when the Knicks, a couple of years ago, they started winning some playoff games when Julius Randle was here. And I want to note Julius Randle. He was a big part of this turnaround for the Knicks a few years ago. And fans were so excited after just one playoff win, and now here we are.
Yeah, that big Julius Randle for Cat trade was a
huge.
big pivot moment for the franchise. People weren't sure if Cat could handle New York City, and you see his playoff run this year, the composure, the way he spoke about his feelings, his connection with his mom, who he lost during COVID. He has been one of the tent poles of this organization during
And
his run.
he has been singularly focused on that, on kind of rewriting the narrative around him. He was chasing that ring, and I remember asking him before that closeout game in Cleveland about his playoff experiences, and especially this team last year getting to the Eastern Conference Finals but falling short. And he made it very clear, I know what's said about me. I know what needs to change. And they've built on that experience and pulled together this year to write a whole new narrative that people are going to be talking about for generations.
It has been so moving watching him, and you talk about him doing this in memory of his mom. I've seen him talk about how he feels like she has been with him throughout the finals. You see him kind of looking up to the heavens, and we're just so happy for him as well.
Yeah, every time there's a big moment in the game, you see him looking up, you know who he's in touch with.
And how special that he did it here in the area that he grew up, right? In New Jersey.
It's what he wanted.
Yeah.
It's what the Knicks fans wanted. It's what the Knicks wanted for so long. They finally found a way to work it out. And Cat is such a huge part of this.
Yeah.
And we do have some video, I believe, if they're going to pull it up for us, of the trophy presentation. There it is. That's what we want to see, John.
That's the Larry O'Brien Trophy. The Larry O'Brien Trophy. Look at Patrick Ewing looking on.
Walt Clyde Frazier there.
Walt Clyde Frazier. There's Mike Brown, the coach that wins that Larry O'Brien Trophy for the first time as a head coach. He's won it 4 times as an assistant. 3 with Golden State, once with the San Antonio Spurs back in 2003. So a full circle moment here for Mike Brown. Ben Stiller.
Oh, the fans. Talk about our
celebrity fans right there. And Leon Rose, the architect of all of this, as he puts this championship team together. The Larry O'Brien Trophy, 25.5 inches tall. That is a regulation-sized basketball that's on top of it. Here's how long it has been since the Knicks won a championship. That wasn't the trophy. The Larry O'Brien Trophy goes back to 1984. That's when they first officially named it that. So the Knicks, when they last won, it was something completely different.
Wow. Yeah,
finally
and it's nice
seeing
to
them
see.
smile.
That's
We love it.
That's exactly.
They bottled it up for so long.
OG smiling.
Yeah, Jalen as well. These guys have both been so serious in every press conference, just so locked in on their goal. In addition to this excitement, it just must be a relief, a chance to finally
a weight off their shoulders.
Absolutely.
Even after OG made that tip in at the last game, remember, everybody was just chuckling online at his demeanor.
Yeah.
How he's just like,
it feels
that's
cool.
That's classic OG.
I love it.
He was like that in Toronto, too.
I aspire to that chill. It just
Right.
never happens.
Yeah, and it's part of what makes him such a great two-way player. He's probably the best two-way player, certainly on the Knicks, certainly in this postseason, and arguably in the NBA. And he's a big reason. If Jalen Brunson didn't score 45 points tonight, you could make an argument if OG had a bigger game, he would have been a great choice as MVP of the Knicks. And Jalen says, we know who our MVP is. It's OG.
Okay.
They give it to each other. Gotta love it.
Right. But that's the nature of this
That's
Knicks
how they
team.
are.
They're so team-oriented, and they were just so singularly focused on that. And that starts with Jalen Brunson. He's the one that keeps them going, keeps them saying, hey, 0-0. In fact, I remember, you talk about how their reaction was so matter of fact, even after big wins. I remember being in Philadelphia, which feels like an eternity ago, when they swept the Sixers in Madison Square Garden.
Wait,
South.
when was that again?
Yeah. Right? At the beginning of these playoffs. And I was talking to Mikal Bridges after the game about it, and I said, how does it feel? You just dominated a Sixers team. You swept them. And he looked at me dead in the eye, and he goes, 0-0. I'm like, yeah, you just swept the Sixers. Can I repeat that? He says 0-0.
Celebrate a little bit, yeah.
Right.
No.
You can let it go. No, they were. That's when I knew. I walked out of that locker room that night and I said, oh, this team.
That's when
this team is locked in on something far bigger.
I know they kept that stance really the whole time, and it'll be fun to get them back to New York City and actually see them take a breath, let loose, and really enjoy the big win.
I've been curious about kind of their mentality training, right? That's like a different part of their training, whether it's the coach talking to them or someone else who comes in and, helps them get into the right mental stakes. I think that's been such a huge part of the game for them.
Yeah, that was a priority the Knicks placed as they put this team together. But they also knew, going back to the Nova Knicks, right, that was a very key part of assembling this team, because those guys have won together. Yeah. Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges won 2 championships with Villanova. They'll be quick to remind you Josh Hart only won 1.
They're going to let us know.
And interestingly enough, the last time Jalen and Mikal were on the court together in San Antonio with a championship on the line, they won that championship for Nova. Now they won it here in San Antonio.
Can we talk about the coach here a little bit, John?
Yeah.
Because this is almost the same team that was in the Eastern Conference Finals last year, with a couple of changes around the end. And Mike Brown was not the Knicks' first choice.
Oh, no.
Mike Brown was not the Knicks' second choice.
Or maybe even their third choice. The Knicks hired Mike Brown last summer, and a lot of people around the NBA that I talked to were laughing at them.
Yeah.
And, even Mike Brown kind of laughed about it at that opening press conference, kind of shrugging his shoulders and saying, I can't believe I'm the Knicks head coach, right? And he did it with a wink and a nod, and that's the disarming way that Mike Brown operates. And in a way, he's almost perfectly suited for what is a difficult market for a lot of coaches to come in and coach. Because you got to remember, you fired Tom Thibodeau, who's an outstanding coach and a guy that deserves credit for getting the Knicks to the Eastern Conference Finals last year, but it wasn't good enough. And so the Knicks and owner James Dolan put down that marker of, you need to get to the finals. That's the expectation. And so Mike Brown came in. That's a tremendous amount of pressure for a head coach who has really bounced around in the NBA. I remember sitting down with Mike Brown back in Cleveland, way back in the day when I covered the Cleveland Cavaliers and LeBron James was a young budding superstar in the NBA, and the Cavs trusted Mike Brown with him. That was his first go around as a head coach, and he wasn't overwhelmed then, and I knew he wouldn't be overwhelmed in this moment.
The Knicks are glad they have him now, right?
Sure.
And
all those doubts out the window.
And just after midnight right now, we've got fans out in full force celebrating this big championship win. We want to get back up to Chopper 4. Want to go up to our pilot, Paul Buscemi, in the West Village. Hi, Paul.
Hi there. I'm actually not the pilot. I'm the photographer, but Adam is our pilot today. So we're down here. Lots of people, but so far, this part, from what we've seen of the celebrants, been very peaceful so far. A lot of people all over the place. Traffic is stalled for quite a bit up 7th Avenue coming down to here. But other than the traffic delays, so far, we haven't seen anything unruly at this point.
Okay, Paul, we take note of that. He is the photographer up there. We thought you were multitasking, but we thank you so much for that report, and we are happy to see, Rana, that things have stayed pretty calm so far. We love watching the crowd celebrate as long as it's done in a safe manner. We have Kay Ingram. She's with the crowds at Woolman Rink in Central Park. Kay, how's it looking? Are they still cheering behind you? Well, maybe not.
Maybe not true. It looks like everyone has left, actually, but you know what? You know what I love about this, though? This game has truly brought all of New York together, so we move as one team, right? So when it was time to go, folks left. I'm sure they're out partying. I talked to people. They said they're going to get some food. They're going to MSG, maybe. They're going to go party with friends, but there was this one guy who, on his way out, he came over, and I just have to say word for word what he said, because it was just so beautiful. He says, we did this with a Dominican, with a Puerto Rican, with a Jamaican, and with an Arab. Those are his direct words. And I thought, truly, there was no better way to put it all together of what these last few weeks have felt like in this city. If you have walked around, you have seen everyone in their Knicks gear, in their orange, in their blue, and everyone has just felt like one. And I felt like he put such a beautiful bow on what tonight has meant for everyone. We saw Coach Brown say earlier he wanted to thank the fans, and that is so much of what we've seen. And again, moving as one team. We've also got the crew here who's been working hard all night, making sure people have a great time, and are now doing the work to clean up what has clearly been the remnants of an awesome party, putting the party and watch party as only New Yorkers can do. So I'm going to throw it back to you all, and such an honor it has been for me as a lifelong New Yorker to celebrate with you all for this win. It's been amazing, and I only wish you all could have seen my photojournalist Conan Ramirez freak out when that win happened. I might have to post a video somewhere. It was amazing. This was fantastic. Sending it back to you all. Thank
We'd love
you.
to see that, Ego. Congrats, Conan, if you can hear us. We're happy
We know
for you
you're
too.
excited.
We know you're out there.
Everybody's going to remember where they were. Think about it when the Knicks won the championship. Oh my goodness, and we got to experience it together. So
all right. The interesting thing about Woman Rink is that there's so many ways to disperse, right?
Yeah.
When you're leaving the park,
Right.
you can go south, you can go north, east, west. This is this West Village?
I think we're still in the West Village. Yes,
we're
it's
still in
still
the
Chopper
West
4.
Village.
So
Okay. Chopper
over the same
4
area
over
there.
the scene in the West Village. It's getting dark. Obviously, it is dark, so it's difficult to tell exactly what's happening there. But of course, police are trying to get people to disperse or at least clear the roadways as they're heading on their way to continue their celebrations tonight. We're keeping an eye on all of these watch parties, and as people are leaving the watch parties, seeing where they're going tonight.
Yeah, and we have Chris Glorioso there on the ground for that other vantage point there. So far, we have been checking in with police. We haven't heard any reports of anything just yet.
Right.
We're hoping things stay safe. Folks get to celebrate. We're hoping it's all about the joy. Hey, I'm seeing smiles on the NYPD officers' faces. We're seeing hugs. Chris, that's what we want to see.
This is their team, too.
You're hearing that, right? This is New Yorkers having a good time. And you just saw the NYPD let them have a good time. And I gotta tell you what, I saw a lot of police officers taking pride in that team that we all watched play tonight. To tell you, every time I hear from fans, I keep hearing how this team has brought this city together. And it's really been a privilege. It's been a privilege to just watch it. And I want to show you. Now, look, if you are out for a Sunday drive on 7th Avenue, good luck. Because there are a lot of people still just having a great time. I want to take you for a walk. I want to show you what's happening. So you would think that this is a city full of prophets, because almost every person that you talk to says they predicted that this would end in San Antonio. Take a look. Pretty much as far as the eye can see, we have Knicks fans who are just enjoying themselves, and they're also making it hard on my voice. So I'm going to take a second, but just take a look at this. Just take a look at this. Look at that. I'm not going to curse. I want to say something. Listen, one other thing I want to point out is that so many people out here, and look, here are some police officers trying to reopen traffic, and at some point they are going to have to say, okay, everybody's got to be on the sidewalk, and I think that time is approaching. But I have to say that what we have watched so far tonight is just every vehicle that has, had to be patient has basically honked their horn and said, I was listening to that on the radio. And look, a lot of us are losing our voice. I'm going to send it back to you and have a glass of water.
Chris.
But Knicks in 5.
Yeah, Chris, Knicks in 5. I get it. I actually lost my voice almost from the end of the last game, game 4. So, oh yeah, we're all feeling it. We're feeling the vibe. I can tell you who's definitely feeling the vibe right now. Sports anchor Bruce Beck, who is there live from San Antonio. And Bruce, I'm going to steal one of your phrases there.
Think about this team,
with Walt Frazier. Go ahead.
The heart of this team, how would you describe it? Thanks, Natalie. And with Walt, Clyde Frazier here on the court. He's won 2 world championships with the Knicks. He is the guy that's considered the #1 guy on the Mount Rushmore of New York Knicks legends. Clyde, how would you describe this win tonight?
Stupendous. Well-deserved for a fan base, Bruce, that suffered all these years. Look how we took over this arena, Atlanta, Philadelphia, Cleveland. So these fans are very deserving of what happened here tonight, and Knicks winning another championship.
Does this team remind you of the Red Holzman Knicks with the unselfishness and the selflessness?
Well, that's how they remind me. They like each other. There are no ego problems. I think the Villanova connection did that. Brunson, Hart, and Bridges, they brought a bond to the team, and it became contagious, and they played that way on the court.
Clyde, how would you describe this fan base, which really emerged as one of the great fan bases in the country?
It continues to grow. People ask me that we have this hoopla pageantry. No way. We didn't have social media, so we didn't have this type of following, folks, that the Knicks have now, where people travel everywhere we go and make us feel at home.
What is it about this ball club that when they're behind, they play their best basketball? It's unbelievable in that regard.
That's why we love them the way we do. They are uncanny. They never say die, and they just remain calm. And I give kudos to their coach, Brown. He's like Holzman. When things go awry, you go to the bench, he's cool and calm, settling the team down. And, he's won his first championship, well-deserved. Mr. Dolan finally gets off the hook. He has a championship, so it's a magnificent night for the franchise and for the fan base as well.
And finally, Clyde, how much will you cherish this night? You weren't on the court as the point guard. You've been a broadcaster for the team for so many years. Tonight you were a fan with your Knicks alumni.
Right. I was living through the eyes of Jalen, saying, wow, I used to be doing that out there on the court. Willis and what they were doing, and Bradley and Earl. I'm sure those guys are watching tonight. They're very proud of the team like I am.
Congratulations, my friend.
Yeah, thank you, Bruce.
Walt Clyde Frazier, Hall of Famer, Knicks legend. For him tonight is a vicarious thrill. Even though he didn't make the pass to Willis, he still feels how much specialness there was with this ball club. Back to you guys in the studio.
And Bruce, I have a quick question for you, because as you say, all these years covering sports, you say this is one for the ages. So we just want to hear your take on this just historic, huge win.
Natalie, this was an incredible run. They had a 13-game winning streak during the playoff run. They won 16 ball games and lost only 3. This team was a compilation of so many players that were brought in by Leon Rose, who was the architect of building this club. But Jalen Brunson was the focal point, the centerpiece. And when he brought Brunson in, that really was the key move in all of these moves. I was at the Garden in 1970, May 8th, when the Knicks won their first world championship, when Clyde had 36 points and 19 assists, and Willis came out of the tunnel. This specialness to me is very much real. I think about my dad and how much of my youth I spent watching the Knicks with my dad, my late dad, and he would be proud tonight. I wish he was here with me, but I know he's looking down and feeling the same joy that I am, because basketball and the Knicks has always been a family affair for us. Marv Albert was the soundtrack of my youth, and so much of my basketball play was basically trying to be Walt Frazier or Cassie Russell or Earl the Pearl Monroe in the driveway. So this is a special night for me, but it's not about me. It's about the fans of New York, a hungry fan base that watched this team linger in the wilderness for so many years, and finally they get to the top of the mountain for the 3rd time in team history.
Bruce, we can always count on you to just speak from the heart, talking about your dad there. I think so many families can relate to that, right? They watched this team with their fathers, with their, grandparents, and this is why this team has gone on through generations, this love for this team.
And Bruce, we know your father is looking down on you. So proud of the job that you're doing here for us tonight. So thank you so much for that. And what a great interview.
Thank you.
Yes. He's always dressed to the nines.
Yes, fixing the tie. We love
styling and profiling.
Never disappoints.
I've seen those ticket stubs from Bruce from back in the 70s.
Amazing.
When he went to those Knicks games. He's covered that team for the better part of 4 decades. And I know how it meant to him. I know how it meant to his father.
Yeah.
It's a special bond that his family has, and that was a special moment that we got to witness there that he shared with us. That was really incredible. That's, in a nutshell, what it means for this Knicks team and for these Knicks fans.
Yeah, we heard from Andrew Siff, too. He was talking to people who said, I watch with my grandfather.
Yes.
I can't wait to experience this with my family. So it really is a family affair.
Passing it down to the kids, too, right?
Yeah,
right.
all the
kids out there,
the younger fans with K.
And tomorrow morning, the kids who had to go to bed early, they're going to be waking up to find out that the Knicks won.
No, nobody goes to bed early on this Knicks team anymore.
My kids.
Maybe you learn your lesson once, but I think talking to a few people, they said that they turned it off. No, game 1 against Cleveland in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then they came back from down 22 in the 4th quarter. I was covering the game, and I almost walked out of the game, right? I thought, this thing's over. No. You never think that with this Knicks team. And it's almost appropriate that they did it tonight in come-from-behind fashion. Do you know they trailed by double digits in each one of the first quarters in all 5 of these NBA Finals games?
And yet there never felt like a doubt, right, that they would come back in the end.
Confident.
Down by 16 points in the 3rd quarter. I looked at the newsroom. I said, well, they got them right where they want.
Yeah, there you go. You had faith. You had faith.
That's where they're in their best.
I want to get back up to Chopper 4 now. Our photographer, Paul, who's up there, going to give us some shots here and give us an idea what you're seeing, Paul.
Okay, yeah, we're still in the village, West Village, and the crowd is starting to actually disperse from here. From everything we've seen, it's been a very joyous celebration. Haven't seen anything, any types of disturbances at all. Police seem to have gotten a lot of the people out of the street here and are directing traffic to some degree, trying to ease the traffic coming down 7th Avenue. But yeah, it's looking pretty good here, and everybody just seems to be having a pretty good time without causing any type of real disruptions, other than the traffic is a little slow.
Okay, Paul, thank you. We just have some information just coming in about the ticker tape parade and City Hall ceremony. It's going to happen, guys. It's going to happen Thursday, June 18th. It's the first ticker tape parade in Knicks history.
Amazing. The mayor just putting out an email about this saying, this is going to happen Thursday, June 18th. More details. They're, ironing out all the details here, the late night hours. They're going to announce more details on this tomorrow. But June 18th, John, Thursday.
Take your days off. Call off.
Yeah, come on, guys.
Starting to feel sick, right?
Yeah,
we've all lost
fever
our
coming
voices.
on. Knicks fever.
Yeah.
Incredible. We heard Bruce and Clyde Frazier talking about Red Holzman, and that got me thinking. What we talked about earlier,
right?
About this being a team of destiny, right?
Yeah.
What's today?
Signs were there.
What's the date today?
613.
613, June 13th, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what number hangs from the rafters at Madison Square Garden?
Is it 613, John?
No, it's 613.
Oh, wow.
It's gotta be.
Hanging on a banner.
Look at that.
There it is.
From Madison Square Garden, the number of wins, recognizing Red Holzman, the legendary Knicks coach who last coached them to an NBA championship. Well, now that's Mike Brown picking up where Red left off. 613. How about that?
Wow.
I wondered when I saw that kind of taking off on social media. Everybody was saying, wait a second, 613. There's a banner up there. And sure enough, I don't know that I necessarily believe in destiny and things like that. I'm a little superstitious. I'll agree. I'm a little superstitious. But something about that just kind of felt like, man, maybe this is going to be the day.
You know what else?
Maybe Red's looking down.
Red too, but you know what else is wild is Jalen Brunson. Did you see the tweet that went viral? Said he tweeted 11 years ago today, and the tweet said, 1 win away. That was June 13th of 2015.
What was he doing then, John?
What did young Jalen Brunson know?
We know he's wise,
watching, right? It was probably the NBA Finals, to be perfectly honest. I hope somebody asks him about that, because I would love to know.
I want to know too. That's pretty
prophetic. Cool. 11 years later.
It was written.
To the day.
You got to think, his number is going to be in those rafters someday.
I would think. Clyde Frazier's number 10 is retired. I think 11 would fit nicely right alongside it. I don't even know that he has to do anything else in his career from this point on. I mean, it's good. It's incredible what he has done. And I go back to draft night when the Knicks were trying to figure out a way to get, this was a couple years ago, to get the next big player that they hoped would carry them where the other previous big players had not carried them, right? And it was a tough time to get superstars to come play at Madison Square Garden for the Knicks. They had a bit of a reputation, and it was not a good reputation. And you heard Clyde Frazier mention owner James Dolan, and now that he's off the hook, right? Credit to James Dolan for stepping back from things and allowing the people that he put in place to do the job. He trusted Leon Rose. Leon Rose, that draft night, I'm at Barclays Center, and one by one, the Knicks are trading down, and everyone's looking around. What are the Knicks doing? What are the Knicks doing? Somebody from the NBA told me they're trying to get Jalen Brunson. And everybody looked around saying, why are they trying to get Jalen Brunson? That's where they're going to go with this? Nobody's skeptical about that anymore.
All right, we want to hear from the team right now. They are speaking. We have a live shot from the podium right now. I believe Josh Hart is speaking with his family. Let's listen in.
What it means for him to do this with his dad. What is it like to see that play out?
Oh, man, it's so cool. So cool to see that because, I've seen the hard work. I've seen their relationship. I've seen the work that they both put in to get to this point. I hope you have that mic off. But, yeah, go Knicks. Say go Knicks. But man, it's so cool to see that they've worked so hard to get to this point, both of them respectively, and man, when you're able to do that, with your dad, you guys both played on the same team. Man, it's that's something they're going to remember for the rest of their lives.
Sam, third row on the left.
Josh, Sam Amick, The Athletic. Congrats, brother. You talk about the weight of the jersey, the weight of the history. Coach Brown was the newest addition to this whole group, and I just kind of wonder, how did you all go from the beginning of that relationship with Coach to where you are today, and how did you see him move through that pressure, and what kind of part did he play?
I did not do that. Before y'all sit there and say Jay Hart did, no, I didn't do it. Okay, go see mommy. Go see mommy. Yes, please. Okay, just stay still. You can sit here and stay still. Okay, thank you. Man, Mike was invaluable to this run. He understands what it is to be a champion. He understands, how to build a team, how to build habits that will put you in this position. And we're so grateful, so thankful to have him, at the top. He kept us even on so many times. He's brought the best out of us as people first. And man, I'm so happy for him. He's the reason why we're here. He's the reason why we're here. And, we got love for him, man. That's the bond that we're always going to have.
Last two, James and Vince in the middle.
James Edwards, The Athletic. Congrats, Josh. You and Jalen had very vintage performances for yourselves as individuals. You on the glass and scoring, him with 45 and in the clutch. I know we ask you this all the time, but do you ever get shocked by what he's able to do? Does it ever surprise you anymore?
Nah. For JB and Kel, both of them, I'm never shocked at what they do because we've been built for this moment. We've been all forged in fire. We've had a lot of long. I'm talking. We had a lot of long moments and times and days at Nova, and we just continue to build and build and build. And I feel like definitely Coach Wright helped us be cut from a different cloth. And no matter what the moment is, it's never too big for us. That's what we do. We were champions before at the college level. Now we're champions as brothers at the ultimate level. And those guys, man, they're warriors, and nothing they do surprises me.
Vince, last question in the middle.
Josh, Vince Goodwill, ESPN. So much of your story is different than Jalen and Mikal's. You've been traded a few times. There's been a hard way to define how you fit on winning teams and in this league. What does this mean to you, considering how much you've sacrificed your body, your game, and been in different situations throughout your career?
Yeah, man, it's a part of my testimony. The one thing, no matter what, I've always said is I want to be a winner. I want to win a championship at the highest level. And, I've been doubted so many times, traded, had so much instability with 7, 8 different head coaches, and I found a home in New York, and they embraced me for the person that I am, the player that I am. I'm not perfect by any means. I make a lot of mistakes, but I try to put my heart out there. I try to do whatever I can do to help the team win. I don't care about points. I don't care about those things. I'm willing to sacrifice whatever it takes, for this city, for this jersey, for this franchise, and to win it. Man, glory be to God, man. This is, they can't doubt me about anything else. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Josh.
All right, we've been listening to Josh Hart speak there from the podium. Can I just say, so relatable. We're all parents.
We all
of children.
understand.
It's so relatable.
Oh my gosh, those
Saw
kids must
him
be so tired.
After they beat the Sixers, he had a kid under each arm coming out of the locker room, and that's a guy that is used to doing heavy lifting for the Knicks at all times. I mean, he comes flying in from all angles of the court to grab rebounds that nobody else is going to get, and that's a big reason why they are where they are.
And John, you heard him talk about the instability that he has faced, right?
Yeah,
Being
no,
traded,
he's been challenged all his career. He's been doubted all of his career, but because he was traded here to the Knicks, because he came here to the Knicks, because he paired up with his college teammates, roommates, I think that unlocked some kind of confidence in him, in all of them, really. I mean, the day they acquired Josh Hart, there's great video out there from Villanova of Jalen Brunson. He's shooting a commercial or some kind of an event at his alma mater at Villanova, and they come up to him and they say, looking at their phones, they're like, "Oh, we just got Josh Hart. The Knicks just got." Jalen's like, "What?"
We got to find that reaction. I love it.
And he starts hugging everybody because he knew in that moment that was going to change things.
Yeah,
it makes
the
win.
Makes a difference.
You got to have hearts.
Makes
it have them.
Literally, right? Literally. All right, we want to get to Chris Glorioso. He is in the West Village. I know the fans were pretty rowdy there before. Have they chilled out at all, Chris, or still pretty pumped up from the big championship win?
I would say it comes in waves. I went and got a glass of water. My throat feels better. I want to show you something that just makes a New Yorker's heart light up. Look, that's the Empire State Building right there. You can see it from our vantage point. It is lit up in the blue and orange, and well, those are the colors of pride tonight. So many of us are feeling, and I also want to chime in for a second as a dad myself, because just today I was playing basketball with my son. And he's 9 years old. He put the ball on the court and started to dribble, and he kind of hit me in the chest with his shoulder, and then he dropped back and he sunk one of those floaters. And I said, "Boy, that looked like Jalen Brunson. Where'd you learn that from?" And he learned it from Jalen Brunson. And so what Bruce Beck said earlier, and what so many families are thinking right now, is that this team not only won a championship and brought it home for New York, they did it in a way where they had each other's backs. And it was just something to watch a child stay up every night and, really get into it. And you could really relate to what Bruce Beck was saying about his memories with his dad. And there are so many dads and so many moms out there tonight who just had a great memory with the Knicks and with their family. Let's take a walk. Let me show you what this scene looks like. This is still a celebration. It is dissipating a little bit, but you can look over there and you can see the giant, the giant Knicks banner. Just a second. And you can also see that, traffic is obviously slow on 7th Avenue. Folks are dealing with it. And, this gentleman, let me say this. You're not going to use any profanity, right?
No, of course not.
What do you want to say tonight?
All I got to say is Jalen Brunson is well endowed. That's all I have to say.
And I think that, people are having trouble managing their emotions tonight. People are having trouble managing their words tonight. And I just
that was the most dad response.
Lost my voice again.
You know what, Jalen Brunson?
So I'm going to send it back to you. But I just want to say how proud I am as a New Yorker tonight.
Yeah. All right, Chris, we thank you so much for that. We know Jalen Brunson's got a lot of fans out there. We love seeing the Knicks T-shirts. We love seeing all the excitement. And we love seeing Bruce Beck. Our producer's telling us he is ready to chat with us now live. I understand you have Landry Shamet with you.
Landry Shamet right there. Look at that.
There he is.
Landry, what a postseason you had. What was it like to be a part of this ball club?
It's amazing. This is the most special team I've been a part of. All we fought through, all of us have our own individual kind of trail of things we had to get through this year alone, and what we fought through collectively. You know, the story of this series was us fighting out of holes and digging out of deficits, and it's a special group, man, and I'm just so grateful to have been a part of it.
You've been so professorial with us throughout the postseason. How would you put this team in perspective in terms of how this team got it done?
I mean, you've got to, I don't know, it's really hard to win in this league, and there's some really good teams, and, you know, you've got to have a resolve, truly. You know, things are going to go south at some point, and they did pretty much every game this series for us, and we have a group that doesn't flinch at that, and just really proud of our group for that. It's special. A special group. A really connected, unified group, man, and like I haven't seen anything like it, and I'm just, it's really special.
How did you always remain ready? There were nights you came off the bench and you were on fire, and there were nights where you didn't get that much playing time, but you were always ready.
You have to be. That's your job. You know, you got to give your best and do your best. You know, outcomes aren't always what they need to be or what you would like them to be, but you've got obligation to your team and your group, you know, and I'm just grateful they picked me up when I was kind of struggling these last couple games, and that's our whole collective, all of us. You know, we you know, if there's one link that's maybe dragging or something, we find a way to pick each other up, and that's the most special part of this group, and it's really cool.
And finally, what about your relationship with the fans and this city? This group seemed to have an unbelievable relationship in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Can't wait to see everybody this week in the city, walking my dog. Say what's up if you see me. Give me a go Knicks or something. I'll say what's up back, and it's going to be amazing. The energy in the city is going to be amazing. Can't wait. You guys were unbelievable throughout, the ups, the downs. Things got a little dicey, and now we're all here. So let's all, you know, reap the benefits of where we are. It's special, man, and it's really cool to be a New Yorker.
Thanks so much for joining us. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Landry Shamet can make a three from anywhere on the court, from anywhere in this arena, probably from anywhere in the city. He was a guy that was part of that Knicks bench, and that bench really stepped up during this entire playoff run. I think that was one of the things that separated the Knicks from the Spurs, except for tonight when Dylan Harper had 21 early. But the point is, these guys were part of a unified force, and Mike Brown used this bench extremely well. Tom Thibodeau deserves a lot of credit for what he did with the Knicks. In the last 4 years, twice they went to conference semifinals. Once they went to the conference final. And now they win the NBA championship. But Mike Brown took it to another level, and he believed in his young people, and he believed in his bench. Back to the studio.
Yeah, Bruce, we were talking about that, and this question for you with Mike Brown. Take a little further. Tell us, what do you think helped him match that flow with the team? Because it was in such a short amount of time, they were able to mesh so well together.
You know, when they came together, after that loss in Atlanta, they were down 2-1. A lot of people said the Knicks were in trouble in that series, and they were in some trouble. That Hawks team was bodying up against Brunson. Daniels and Johnson did a really good job against them, and what Mike Brown decided to do was to bring Karl Anthony Towns, his big man, outside to facilitate the offense. That was the most important move of this entire postseason. That's when the Knicks went on their 13-game winning streak. Mike Brown did a great job by finding ways to make this team better and for using the talents that he had on this club. And that move with Karl Anthony Towns, who I never thought was that good of a passer, but man, did he prove me wrong, because he was unbelievable.
Bruce, we were talking earlier, this is really the first time that we've seen the players smiling, able to celebrate, finally letting loose a little bit. I think we're seeing some of that there behind you. Tell us what you've been seeing just out there on the court after this game has ended.
You know, there's a seriousness of purpose with this ball club, a very stoic team. Jalen Brunson is Jeter-esque. He doesn't show his cards. He doesn't smile much. But I've seen him with his wife, Allie, in Westchester, and they are a wonderful couple. And he is a very classy, lovely man. It's just that his focus, his steely-eyed focus, is what has made him such a great player. And I think that's why he doesn't smile. But he'll smile after tonight because the job is now done. But the Knicks always said, we're going to play with urgency tonight. Even when they were leading in the series 3-0. We've got to be more desperate. Bridges love to say that. We have to be desperate. You just won a game by 35 points. You're going to be desperate? But that was the mentality, Natalie, throughout the postseason. And Rana, the fact that the two of them, and you looked at the rest of the ball club, they were always focused. They were always on point. And that comes from the head coach, Mike Brown, and that comes from the fact that this team never accomplished anything until tonight. They were professional right to the final buzzer.
And speaking of Mike Brown, on that note, Bruce, I understand we have him at the podium right now.
People say he's too small. People say he's a 1B or a 2B or whatever. He is a freaking 1A. He is an MVP candidate. And I hope tonight you guys, and I'm talking to media more than the fans, but I hope you guys recognize what this man is about, because he is A1 MVP.
Facts.
He is him.
He's him.
He is him.
He is him.
He is him.
He is. He is.
Can you say he is? Say he is him. No.
No. No.
Okay. This is my grandson Iverson.
James, left row on the side.
Mike over here at the left. James Edwards, The Athletic. Another thing with Jalen, you've been around some players who have transformed franchises, and ever since he's gone to New York, it's only been an upward trajectory. What is it about those type of players that can help change a culture within an organization?
Well, you know, I got to give his mom credit, and I hate to say this, but I'm going to give his dad credit too. His entire family. You know, he understands what winning's about. You know, he comes and he probably takes a pay cut that I wouldn't have taken. Every time they would have thrown that number in front of me, I would have said no, and I feel like I'm a good guy. So he set the bar before he even stepped on the floor. Every time it came to renegotiate a deal with him, so that set the standard. Now when you take into his play into account, it's off the charts, man. I love Pat. Pat's up there. I hope Pat doesn't kill me. Pat's bigger than me. We're both old and slow, but because he's got a longer reach, he might be able to get me. But Jalen Brunson is him when it comes to New York basketball. He is freaking him, man.
He is.
Andrew, standing on the right.
Mike over here. Andrew Wright with NBC News. Right as the buzzer goes off, everyone's jumping around, but you look like you were just sort of wandering around, almost emotionless. I was just sort of wondering, can you walk us through what you were processing in that moment and what you were feeling?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. That's the first thing. It was surreal. I couldn't believe that it was happening. And I am so tired. I mean, I'm gassed. And, you know, this stuff is harder than what you think. And, you know, you have to have great assistants. You have to have great players. But I was gassed. And I'll never forget, in 2003, as an assistant here, and we won the championship, I'll never forget. I was on the other bench. When the buzzer went off, I was sitting in my chair. All I did was lean back in my chair. And I sat there. I felt like for 10 minutes, it was probably 30 seconds, but I just wanted to breathe. I wanted to breathe, and that's what I wanted to do today. It was surreal. I was tired, and then I wanted to find my family. I wanted to find Ro, my grandson, my son, Elijah, my stepkids, my mom, my sisters. I want to find my family and enjoy it with them.
Christian, last question here on the left.
Mike, Christian Winfield, New York Daily News. Congratulations on
NBA championship. You know, with 3 chances to win 1 game, you know, some teams might have said, hey, you know, we're down 16.
Bitch! What's up, bitch? There you go. There you go. Yes, sir.
Like I said, just with 3 shots to win 1 game, some teams might have been down 16 and said, hey, you know, we have 2 more shots to do this. Let's just maybe pack it up and try to win it back at the crib. You know, you guys have come back from down, I don't know how many times so far this season. Was there any doubt in your mind that you guys would be able to do it again under these circumstances? And at what point did you know that, you know, you guys going to do it today?
You know, you never know. But, again, like I said, I'm human. And sometimes you get carried away with the outcome. I just kept telling myself, be present, stay present, stay present. Try to help these guys the next play. Try to help these guys the next play. That's all I kept doing. And, you know, when you do that, when you can stay in the moment, you're going to give yourself a chance, especially with this group. This group is really, really resilient, and they've shown it time after time after time. So it doesn't matter what we're down. You got guys like these around me, we're going to give ourselves a chance.
Thank you, Mike. We'll take questions for Mitch now.
Say thank you.
Hey, Mitch, you got any questions, bro?
No, I don't got no questions.
You got a statement to make? You got a statement to make, though?
Nah.
No?
Nope, not at all.
Man, you can name yourself champion, my brother.
Yep.
NBA champion.
There we go.
Fact.
Both
There
of
we
you
go.
guys.
Come on now.
NBA champion.
Hey, man, you can call yourself champion, too.
I'm going to call myself champion.
Come on now.
Show, baby.
Yes, sir.
Come on
For
now.
sure.
Come on
For
now.
sure, right? For sure.
Man, don't let me speak out, man.
What?
Don't let me speak out.
Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, Mitch.
Come on, man. I'm playing too much.
Mitch, Steve.
Hey, mention me, Mitch.
I don't know what word just came out of that boy's mouth.
Steve.
Shout out to Mitch.
Don't shout me out.
Hey, Mitch.
Steve in the front
Steve
right.
Hopper from News.
Steve, what's up, baby?
I think
Seen you for 8 years.
I think I asked him as the one guy who was here from it all.
It's so fun to hear them finally let loose, show their personalities
Just
a little
enjoy
bit.
the win.
Just enjoy the moment.
It has been such a
been there.
long, stressful
We have
journey.
won 17 games.
As joyful as this is,
60
and the fact that
games.
they won 13 straight
to finally
games,
be able to
right?
get it done
You're
in
looking at
2026,
Mitch Robinson right there.
all the,
You got to
journey that I've
remember
been on
that
and
going into the
team and stuff
finals,
like that, and
he had
this has been
surgery
amazing. This is
on
an
his
amazing
hand.
feeling.
That's right. He came into this
I mean, that was
broken pinky.
that was a potentially
We got it.
deflating and disastrous occurrence for the Knicks coming into this series, because you got to take care of Victor Wembanyama, and you needed Mitchell Robinson in the paint there. And he was able to get surgery. He was able to play every game. Wow. He got crucial rebounds tonight in the clutch. There was a missed free throw in the waning seconds of this this game that he reached up and snagged and kept possession. So that's incredible to see. Mitchell Robinson, Mike Brown, and the New York Knicks
All
as NBA
smiles.
champions.
And we want to get to sports anchor Bruce back really quickly. I think he has another interview.
Deuce McBride
with us. Hey.
Stop it, Phil. Get in there. Hey, Deuce, you're a world champion. Has that sunk in?
I don't know when it will. I mean, I think about so much. All glory to God, but the support from my family, my friends, I mean, the fan base that showed up here, that has our back in New York. I mean, it's a culmination of all of it.
Is the emotion for you because of the closeness of your ball club and what you accomplished?
Absolutely. I mean, a bunch of, people might have thought we were too nice, too much of good guys, but it's what good guys do. I want to be a good guy. I mean, we had a close-knit organization, top to bottom. We believed in each other at the darkest moments. Nobody panicked. Nobody was rattled. We just pulled each other out of it.
I couldn't figure out in the middle of the season if this team was going to be a title contender or not. But something changed when you got to the postseason, like a switch was flipped. Can you explain that?
It's winning time, truthfully. I mean, we said we don't want to go home. Simple as that. We know we have the talent. We had a great staff that prepared us all year long. And I think you need those ups and downs through the regular season. You need a great bench. I mean, you look at past championships, they have great benches. They have trust. They have and the true leaders. And it's, I mean, at the end of the day, when you just are so close and everybody's bought in, you're going to achieve great things.
You were once Miles McBride, but you turned into Deuce somewhere along the way. And this crowd seems to love you, the New York crowd. When you take a shot, Deuce, do you hear them?
I mean, I wish I paid more attention. I wish I could have always knocked down a few more, but I mean, to have fan support like that here, on the road, anywhere we go, at home. I mean, like I said, 2-3 months ago, I'm having surgery. I'm hurting. I didn't need to play another game, but we got it done, so that's all that matters.
Finally, how will this team be remembered in your mind?
53 years?
Yes.
Hey, that says it all. 53 years, and we're the ones.
And remembered for the grit, the determination, the fortitude, all those things. You guys are better when you're down 16 than when you're up 22.
Sounds like it, right? I mean, I don't know why we got to make a dramatic finish, but at the end of the day, we got it done.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Deuce McBride, NBA champion, has a nice ring to it. John, you interviewed Deuce down in Cleveland, I think it was, or Philly. He's a special guy, and he's just got the perfect attitude.
He really does. I talked to him in Cleveland the very same way you did going off the court when they were Eastern Conference champions. I talked to him in Philadelphia. I talked to him after the Hawks games, and throughout that, you're not going to be surprised with what he would say to me. 0-0. We got to play desperate. That's all the Knicks would talk about in this postseason run. I remember talking to Deuce's parents after they lost to the Pacers last year, and they were so down. They had such high hopes for this Knicks team, and Deuce's parents told me, leaving the arena, we're going to be back. We're going to get this done. We believe in this team, and sure enough, this team a year later is NBA champs.
He said, "We are the ones." Yeah. That's how they'll be remembered.
We are the ones. That's all you need to know.
Absolutely.
They're the ones. 53 years later.
Got to remember that quote.
We have news for us. Veronica Contreras, also in San Antonio for us tonight. She is on the court. Veronica, good evening, good morning, good to see you.
Good evening, good morning. We just had a nice conversation with Karl Anthony Towns Sr. Here you go. We're live in Telemundo, New York, NBC 4. Estamos en vivo. How excited are you?
I'm very excited, very excited. It's a great moment, not only for my son, but for the Dominican Republic and all around. I mean, Karl came out here and performed with 14 of the best friends he could have, and now it's a family environment. We're world champions, and it's all because of what we call the one thing people say we never were. We were a great team.
We talked about how great a relationship you have with your son.
Me and my son are inseparable. He's my best friend, and every day is a beautiful day. And like I said, when he stepped on this court, he played for his mom, he played for this team, and that's what means, because you know what? Relationships are built on how you communicate with your kid. We communicate every day, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else today but sharing this moment with my son. We've been waiting for this moment for 11 years, and to finally have it come to life is more than I can express. I'm just happy, not only for my son, but for the team and organization, and doing something that we've been doing for 53 years, winning the championship for the New York Knicks.
You say how special it is to see those kids with their jersey that says Towns in the back.
Every time I see a kid with jersey, I come in and I say, nice number. They say, yeah, we love Cat. I said, so do I. Because when you see somebody representing you and wearing your number, it's a respect thing, and they feel real good with you. So to me, it was a great moment. It's a great moment every time I see a 32, and I always acknowledge anybody with a 32.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Here you go. Karl Anthony Towns' dad, very proud of his son, and we've seen him on the court. He's been a key for this victory. He said that he was ready to celebrate back in New York, because he's like, we're already planning the parade, so I'll see you back in New York.
Come back to New York.
Oh, Veronica, we love to see it. Great interview. We love to hear about the father and son moments. He said they're inseparable, and he also played for his mother, which we've heard Karl Anthony Towns talk about so much. He lost his mother due to COVID, and it's just been great seeing him play in her honor, in her memory. We should have more fan shots here to come. I believe we have Chris Jose. We're finally back to Chris Jose, where he was in the middle of the largest crowds outside of MSG. How's it going, Chris?
Well, we made our way over to West 32nd and 6th Avenue. Let me give you a live look. Natalie and Brandon, you can see here New Yorkers, New York Knicks fans are out on the streets celebrating tonight. A sea of people are right there at the intersection of West 32nd and 6th Avenue. A little bit further down, you can see back there a group of people, dozens of them, on top of a truck right now. There's some folks here also on some scaffolding I can see out in the distance. The NYPD is out in full force. We're slightly inside that so-called frozen zone, again, on the other side of 6th Avenue. This is the perimeter, so the outskirts where it's not frozen. And this is where tens of thousands of Knicks fans have made their way out to the streets to celebrate. There were 3,000 fans, we're told, at the MSG party earlier this evening. A lot of those fans, of course, are now out here on the street celebrating tonight. And then on the other side of us, we're not going to be able to see it, but let me just describe it for you. There's another box truck just to my right, and there's another dozen or so people on top of those trucks celebrating tonight. The NYPD right now letting the fans do their thing. Nothing violent has escalated, no pushing or shoving. People just out here on the streets with their phones, celebrating, taking this moment in. The Knicks, the 2026 NBA champions, guys. Here, you can see the NYPD. Let's pan it down here, Nelson. So I just want to show you this, guys. So again, we're still within this frozen zone, and you have a line of officers with their helmets on, with the batons out, telling people to go on other sides of the streets here. They're directing people to Penn Station. People are trying to get to other areas of the city right now. We anticipate that the NYPD will be out here for several more hours until the crowd here begins to dissipate. But from what it appears, that's not going to be happening anytime soon. Every direction that we look, there are New Yorkers, there are Knicks fans taking this moment in. And why not? And why not celebrate this moment? The Knicks take Game 5 in San Antonio, but I can tell you, Rana and Natalie, when we were out there on the Plaza, right outside MSG tonight, it really felt like a home game. Yeah. We were trying to talk to each other during those live shots. I could barely hear you guys. That's how loud it was over there. Everyone there embracing each other. There were fathers, there were sons, strangers hugging each other, and just celebrating this historic moment for the New York Knicks. Wow. Natalie?
Yeah. Oh, Chris, yeah, and we were just talking about this. I actually forgot that it wasn't in New York for the moment. Celebrating
like a home game.
It feels like a home game right now, guys.
That's what the Knicks and their fans would do to every road game. They would turn it into a home game.
Right?
Yeah, it's the truth.
And so many fans obviously go after their respective watch parties. They still want to go to the Garden afterwards, right? That's where the people are gathering, and that's why you're seeing most of the crowds.
It is
there
the Mecca, and people will go.
You want to be in the Mecca.
That's right.
I understand we have a shot of Times Square right now. Let's see what the crowds are. Well, we always have crowds in Times Square.
Let's see
24/7,
tonight.
Yeah, okay,
looks about right.
That looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Right? Looks like a normal weekend.
Saturday night. It is warm out, 77 degrees right now. We have the World Cup that has also been going on in the tri-state. We've, almost forgotten all about
Look
that.
at the Puerto Rican Day Parade tomorrow. I mean, this weekend,
on.
everything's happening.
And the ticker tape parade on Thursday, Matt.
Okay, so here's the thing.
The weather. Oh, okay.
So here's the thing. I've got rain on Thursday for now, but I've got to think one of two scenarios is going to happen. One, Mother Nature herself will go ahead and part the skies and make sure we get sunshine for that. Or the second scenario is no one will care. If there is a Knicks parade and the ticker tape is flying and you're celebrating something we haven't seen in this city for more than half a century, the weather is kind of incidental at that point. And so long that there are not big, nasty thunderstorms, people will be out celebrating their team.
It'll just mix in with the tears of joy that will be flowing out there.
That's right. I'm not crying, it's the rain.
It's the rain.
We were saying this felt like a home game, but imagine when the players are actually back in the city and the fans are able to celebrate them in person. How
it's going to be unlike any parade I think we've seen for teams here, for that very special reason that the Knicks did this for the first time in 53 years.
53 years, and we have seen New Yorkers come together. This championship has truly united our city, and we are thrilled for our team. We can't wait to celebrate this Thursday.
Thank you for witnessing history with us. It was a pleasure to be with you tonight. We hope you all have a great night. Let's go Knicks.
Knicks in 5.
Knicks in 5, baby. Woo!
Surveyed 2